Okay, so essentially this is the completed filter room, and I must say that the floor's looking a bit manky at the moment. It's just that it was wet and we haven't put a coat of paint onto the two troughs that we've got in here. That'll happen in time. I just wanted to get everything sorted out first and do the painting absolutely last, once there was no leaking, no problems, no anything. Just so that you guys understand the system. This is the start of the system, and it looks quite grotty. It's the only way that we could actually make this work is we've got 4 standpipes coming in from the pond. Those come in from the bottom, from the 4 bottom drains, and we've also got 2 pipes coming in here from the 2 skimmers. So basically all 6 pipes end up in here. They then basically move their way on this side here to the drum filter. There's 4 big 110 pipes at the bottom. There's a pipe coming in there to the drum filter and one coming into the side. And the inside of the drum filter looks like that. So this is a locally made drum. It's called Pro Drum, and at the moment, believe it or not, the pumps are running in full. So I'm essentially circulating about 80,000 liters an hour in full, but you can't even hear the pumps. I mean, here the pumps on this side, they are running absolutely silent. This is the pump spec. If you, in case you're interested, there you can see 18,000 liters an hour. So with a 4, just maybe, what is that, 72,000 liters. And there you can see they're running. So when it shows you that they're at 120 watts, it's running, basically means that I've got 72,000 liters at 500 watts. So this is the system running in full. I've turned the air off. There are the air pumps on the side there. I've turned the air off just because that's what makes the noise in here. And there you can see the moving bed. So it comes into the Pro Drum. There you can see a bit of the flow. This at the top here, I mean, it's like a bit of a homemade job. I've literally just put a screen in place with a bit of a rock on it, just to stop leaves from going back into my flushing, into my waste system. I've got a waste tank at the bottom of the yard, and I don't want it filling up with leaves. So I basically collect the leaves out of here once the drum does its flush. But you can essentially see the movement in the water. It's pretty intense. It then goes through 3 big 16 millimeter pipes on this side. Sorry, 16 centimeter pipes on this side here. There's a bit of a meshing just through the side of this wall here. Then it moves its way into this tank. On this side here, there are 4 pipes basically jutting out the wall, and then each with a really decent sized grid out off the front of it. And that's the grid that gets basically blocked a bit with coldness, but it still manages to flow through. If you remember, I had that funny hockey net thing that we'd built in here, trying to separate the wheels. It didn't work. It just kept on pushing wheels through, and they'd all stack up on this side, so that wasn't working. And then once it comes through from the pumps, you can see there the four lines into the 4 pumps. 3 of the pumps have this 55 watt, is it 55 watt? Yeah, 55 watt UV light going then back to the pond. 1 of them just goes straight back to the pond, and that's my 4 jets on top of each other. These guys here are the flows for the air. So essentially, 1 of the air pumps is doing the main pond. Those are the 4 lines to the main pond. And 1 of the pumps is just doing that moving bed. So in total, between the 2 on the air pumps, and there you can see the air pump specs, we've got 500 liters a minute of air flowing between the 2 different setups. So that's basically the system as it stands, how it flows through. I'm taking water from the drum filter that pumps back into the drum when it cleans. What I'm going to do now is just show you the system I've got here. I haven't linked it to my phone yet, but that's the Pro Drum system on the wall. On here, I can basically check. See, it says the last flush was 1 hour 23. The last 24 hours, it's done 3 flushes. I'm not doing a lot of flushes at all. In fact, possibly one of those flushes is a manual flush. So maybe it's flushing 3 times in a 24-hour cycle. So it's not a lot at all. There it shows me how many times it's flushed. I'm doing manual flushes a lot, just messing around with the system. So maybe half of that is actual flushes and half of that is me. You can see on there temperatures for the last, if it gets there. Oh, there we go. So for the last 8 days, what the temperature was, or the last 6 days. So what I'm going to do now is do a manual flush. So I press manual. We go over to the drum filter. Now obviously that doesn't normally flush with the lid open, so it puts a whole lot of water onto the floor. But there you can see, look at the amount of leaves that it's trapping in that grid. That's crazy, but we've got huge leaf problems at the moment, just because I've got a big pecan tree and a big oak tree, both here next to the pond, so it's causing a bit of drama. My pond's actually coping with it incredibly well. So leaves are either coming through from the bottom drains here, or I'll take you to the other side and just show you. So it's been a windy day, but I mean, look at this. This is crazy. Look at the leaves on the floor. But the pond is coping remarkably well. I mean, it basically is just taking the leaves straight out. It's putting them in the skimmer boxes, and I've got 2 skimmer nets in there. It's putting them onto the netting by the drum filter, and it's basically keeping the pond clean. As soon as the wind stops blowing, the pond rids itself of leaves completely within about 2 hours. So that's working pretty good. There you can see the pecan tree and the oak tree. These trees are enormous. I mean, that's quite a tall roof on the house, and you can see that pecan tree is 2 or 3 times the size of the roof of the house, and it's blowing like crazy here today. So check that out. Look at the trees at the end of the yard, they're blowing as well. So a lot of leaves kind of coming off the trees and ending up in the pond. This is going to be the case for about 2 months of the year. So the pond's coping with the leaves, so yeah, but if I didn't have these 2 skimmers in here, I'd have a huge problem. I'm really glad I put them in, and I'm really glad I've got the third option, that the leaves coming from the bottom drains are basically trapped on that mesh. Most of them actually come out through the skimmers just because there's so much water flow. But yeah, so that's just a look at the filtration, a look at my pond today. I'm going to go and get some more fish to put in the pond this afternoon. But yeah, so far so good. The water's clearing up quite nicely. I've obviously turned the air off at the moment. Okay, there you can see underwater in the pond. Just look at the amount of leaves that are kind of moving about from the leaves that are falling into the pond. You can see the pond clarity is absolutely fantastic, but you got a lot of leaves in there, and yeah, the pond clears those leaves out. So if the wind stops blowing, the leaves stop going into the pond. It takes about 2 hours to get everything out. So it is what it is, and it's just because of those really big trees that I've got in the background. They're losing their leaves, so maybe it's going to be 2 months worth of chaos a year in terms of leaves. I'm not going to chop the trees down, but yeah, it is what it is. But those leaves get removed out of the system. I saw it yesterday, how quickly the pond actually takes care of it. And if I didn't have the skimmers, I'd be in a lot of trouble in terms of leaves. There you can see the skimmer, and basically that skimmer is just pulling stuff in all the time. There you can see leaves going in. Works incredibly well. I've got 2 of them. Shows me that my planning, or the way that it ended up, wasn't exact, because the 2 skimmers are not at the same level. There's the other one, it's a bit higher than this one, but yeah, it takes care of the leaves as they kind of make their way around, and as they get agitated by the oxygen, they moved into place where they can get sucked into the filter. And you can see leaves getting close, so they just get pulled into there and then end up actually in that skimmer box. So we just empty that box out on a regular basis. But yeah, so I hope from that you've got a good indication of what my filtration is like, what's happening here at the moment. I'm going to try and make more videos. I'm getting the sales ponds sorted out in pretty shortly, so that's going to be quite exciting. But yeah, look how far it's come. Guys, yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're enjoying the videos. Thanks for watching. Please like, please, if you're watching for the first time, please subscribe. I'm posting koi content on a regular basis. I love to know that there's koi keepers out there that are appreciating what I'm posting, otherwise I just wouldn't do it. But yeah, happy Sunday, guys, and thanks for watching. Cheers.